Welcome, everybody, to the PokeLADs podcast, a Pokemon podcast where we talk about all things Pokemon, and we answer the question, where the fuck have we both been the last I'm your host, AJ, aka Does Size Matter LOL, and I have my co-host here with me, my brother. Go ahead and reintroduce yourself to the masses.
How's it going, guys? Have you missed us? Sneaker Dad 93 here. Dude, it's Damien on the podcast. Glad to be back. Glad to have a good time. But yeah, it's been a minute. Our last episode was in May, and we understand that life happens. So, Adrian, why don't you go ahead and start us off with explaining, like, where the hell have we been?
Yeah, I just want to say, I'm recovering well. Take care of your health. I'm just kidding. No. Shout out to the people that take care of their health. No, good things have been happening. Life things have been happening. I got married.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think
buddy.
if you follow our Instagram, Damien had posted a couple of like videos or photos from back in when the fuck did I get married? June? Around like June-ish, middle of June. So yeah, that happened. So some pretty cool stuff. Damien was my best man, so shout out to him for putting in all that work. I am such a bad friend, but you know what? I know he does it for me because I'm worth it.
Hey, I got to make him cry a couple times, so I did my job as a best man.
Yeah.
I would say that was a wrap for sure.
And we did get to incorporate some type of Pokemon stuff into the reception. We played I feel like it's a Filipino game, a Filipino wedding reception game, because I haven't seen it done anywhere else besides like Filipino weddings, but it's the Bring Me game. So we have like the MC of the reception shout out like a couple of things on this list that we provided them to like bring to me and my wife. We were sitting at a sweetheart table in the middle of like the dance floor, and basically like the MC would be like, "Oh, somebody bring Feline and AJ." Feline's my wife's name. Like a Labubu doll, blah 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 blah. So one of the questions was, "Oh, bring AJ and Feline a Pokemon card," and we were handing out like $20 bills to whoever could bring us like the items on that list. So one of them was a Pokemon card, and only two people in the crowd happened to like chase after it. And it was surprising that two people actually had like the cards on them, but one person had to run and grab it from their car. But lo and behold, who actually had the card on them? And Damien, if you want to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so it turns out it was me. What was really funny was I was being super cash during the reception, and when they said bring a Pokemon card, I was like, I don't think I have anything on me because I traveled from Southern California to fly up to San Francisco. But then I remember the night before, Adrian gave me the Team Rocket's Wheezing, like I forget if it's an IR or SIR or whatever, but I had it in my suitcase, and my suitcase was just in the other room. So I bolted really quick and brought it over. So, hey, best man earned a free $20 on top of making the groom cry. So, it's a great weekend. It was a great weekend.
We definitely made it look rigged, like to all the other guests. We noticed
really
that it was like
did.
mostly like our direct like friends / family that were winning that game. So it was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was. But that was like, what's it? That was June, basically. And as for me, well, in the middle of all of that happening, I actually ended up having to find a new job. So I found a new job. I had to do a bunch of studying and tests for me to be able to get into this role. So that's all done now. But, between Adrian doing the wedding planning and going to his wedding, as well as me, like, trying to just, hold down the fort to make sure I put food on the table, we're now able to be back and back up and running. And just in time, right after the both of us attended Worlds, the Pokemon World Championships, the Pokemon World Championships in Anaheim. And man, what a weekend that was. It was so fun. But yeah, I guess my favorite question, and I guess the question of the day then, as a natural follow-up, is what was your favorite part about Worlds, Adrian? And as far as for our listeners too, if you want to answer this question, put it down in the comments. Whether you went to Worlds yourself or you just simply watched from your home, wherever you are, leave it down in the comment. But what was your favorite part about Worlds, Adrian?
Yeah, I think my favorite part about Worlds was them opening up the Pokemon Center to the public because I think, we should allow the public to grab as much merchandise as they want and resell it on eBay for triple the price because that's what Pokemon is all about. It's not about nostalgia, it's not about for the love of the game, it's not about loving these characters. No, Pokemon is meant to be made money off of. That was my favorite part. So if you were a fan actually attending Worlds, it wasn't for you, okay? It was for the resellers. Let's be real. All right. And I advocate for the rights of resellers and scalpers. That
All
was my
right,
favorite part of Pokemon
so
Worlds.
so tell me how you actually feel.
Yeah, I don't really feel that way, but that was like a big part of the weekend. Um, I loved it. Yeah, it was a great first experience. I somewhat experienced Pokemon Worlds in 2023 when me and my wife accidentally booked the Pokemon Center World Store there in Yokohama, and we didn't realize that was actually the World Championships until like we kind of walked around and I was like, oh, this logo says championship. Like, oh, it's like VGC, TCG, and stuff like that, which kind of like jump started my love for like getting into the Pokemon TCG. But overall, it was a cool experience. My first like national slash international tournament for a TCG like this. Like I've mentioned before, I frequented like Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments, but this is probably like the biggest um like TCG based or like video game based or like anime based convention I've ever been to. And it was awesome. Like a lot of people online are giving it crap, but I enjoyed it for what it was. I got to kick it with Damien, so that was something we got to do because it was in his backyard. And then we'll get into like the little like niche things of it as we like progress through this episode. But I had a really good time. I wish like it was longer. I was there from Thursday all the way to Monday. Granted that Monday didn't really have anything. It was just a rest day for me. And it'll be about like a week already since I flew out to Anaheim. But yeah,
Oh, that's
overall pretty
true.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. That's really cool. I think my favorite part was honestly just walking around and seeing all the vendors, all the people, just the fans who were dedicated to just dressing up. All the uh, what's the term that I'm looking for? Um, all the fan service basically that was for there because I remember my first major tournament. I actually went with Adrian to the LA regionals last year, and that one is a lot more lackluster compared to Worlds. I mean, obviously, it makes sense because the regional tournament compared to like the World Championship, uh, they have to step their game up. But I just loved being immersed in the experience. The badge pickup, I thought was like super smooth. I thought things were, a bit more optimized. But it was a good time, and I think even just walking around, just seeing people's faces light up at certain things, seeing the crowd's reaction. The main stage was like pretty sick to like look at, like how they had it set up for VGC, TCG, and Unite. So yeah, I think just how the overall convention and was like centered and structured was really cool to check out. So I guess like going into it, like uh, basically I have a recap of the weekend and how it went. Adrian, as you mentioned, like went all 3 days. I was only able to attend Saturday, being a father and having a job that I couldn't take off because I just started a new job. I could only get, I was only able to go for Saturday, but what was it like for you Friday? Just kind of experiencing anything? Well, because also you weren't running on any sleep. You just decided to go straight to like, badge pickup and then just exploring the whole thing. But yeah, do a quick recap on like Friday.
Yeah, yeah. Even before Friday, like I ended up working on Thursday, so my usual shift is from like 7 o'clock in the morning to 4:30. So I ended up working on Thursday for most of my shift. My supervisor allowed me to go early. I told her I had a flight at like 4, and I lied. I was like, no, I have a flight. My flight was at like 6, 7 o'clock. and it didn't lift off until like maybe 8. So I ended up flying in around like 8:45, 9 o'clock. Then took like another like 15-20 minutes to get my bag from the check bag area or the carousel. Quick travel hack: never check in your luggage right away. Just wait till you get to the gate.
Yep.
And 9 times out of 10, they're gonna ask for volunteers to check in their luggage due to no
Yep.
space. So you save yourself like $35.
Yeah.
Shout out to Alaska Airlines. Anyway, yeah, so I fly in around like 9:45 ish, and I get to my hotel. My hotel is about like a 15-minute walk from the convention center itself, so I'm like right behind California Adventure, which is pretty cool. Even though I didn't go to Disneyland or any of the parks this past weekend, and I could not sleep right when I got to my hotel. I like was trying to get everything prepared. Like I was trying to get my bag prepared, get all my outfits for each day, so I didn't really have to like waste time thinking about what I was gonna like wear each day. I had to get that all set. I got my binder set, even though I ended up not bringing my collection. I was re-sleeving my deck. And for side events, they actually had you use RK9, which is the tournament dashboard that Pokemon uses for like regionals, NAIC, all the international championships and stuff like that to queue up. So I had to get all my deck lists finalized. So I was doing that until like maybe 12 o'clock in the morning, and I could not sleep in my hotel room at all. I don't know if it was just excited or because I was sleeping alone. I got no sleep that day. And then going into Friday, I had a side event tournament, standard tournament from like 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock, and I just spent most of the day walking around before the actual tournament started. And I got to do a lot. I got to go to the Pokemon Center, which was a whole other experience. I got to check out like rounds 1, 2, and 3 of Masters. Shout out to Azul and Zach Lesage and Henry Chow. I actually got to meet Henry Chow, and I got a
Dude,
picture
that's
with him.
crazy. They got to like
Yeah.
meet the goat.
I got to meet Henry, and like I wasn't even looking for him. Like I was just like walking around the tables, and it was round 1, and I got to see him play against another player. I didn't know who the other player was, but I believe they were playing Raging Bolt. But
Hmm.
I just saw like Henry do his thing, and I was like, man, this these people are built different. The way that they play the game and the choices that they make. So it was really cool to actually watch the entire match from a good like standing position, because I was like right over not his shoulder but like a few feet back, where I was able to see both players' fields. And it was cool. Like I mentioned on Instagram, it was a master class watching that happen. Um, so like Friday was definitely checking more of the amenities out. My Pokemon Center reservation was at like 11:45, but realistically, I didn't get in line until like maybe 12:45. So there's a delay there. But yeah, just spent Friday just walking around, checking out all the different exhibits, the vendors, and just kind of seeing like what the crowd looked like and what kind of side events they were holding.
What is so I guess we might as well go into it since you mentioned it. You had your reservation for the Pokemon Center. I've heard like mixed reviews from people like what's it? Card Lounge podcast said that first couple days were like really bad, but then over the weekend Pokemon Center got more optimized. Like basically by Friday, Saturday ish, it was a little bit better. Um, and Uncommon Energy just said that the overall experience was just bad in general of Pokemon Center. I mean, they could be comparing it to like last year's at Honolulu or just like other like parts of it. But what was your take on the Pokemon Center experience and you being able to go and actually check out the shop and all the merchandise there?
Yeah, my hot take is that it's a purely American problem. Like,
Uh,
what with the state of Pokemon right now, in terms of merchandise, cards, collectibles, whatever it may be, just anything with a Pokemon brand in a very consumerist country like the United States, it's not gonna end well. Um, Granted, like again, folks from like Uncommon Energy and all these other different like podcasts and shows have gone to multiple regionals and like have gone to multiple like worlds. So we like I can't really compare. My only reference for the Pokemon Center this year was again Yokohama, because me and my wife were accidentally raffled in to being able to attend. But and that's in the homeland of Japan. Like it could be a culture thing, it could just be the way that things were organized, but it was way easier to shop. It was way easier to get on your like onto your like reservation. It was way more organized. So I honestly think it's like a purely American thing where like, you know, a lot of people are queuing up because they want to make a profit by purchasing all the exclusives, which a lot of like clips from like YouTube and like Instagram, a lot of those popped up of like the lines on day 0, which was like Thursday, of like people trying to get into line, people taking their sweet ass time inside of like the actual Pokemon Center too. I heard a rumor that like some people were like grabbing like doubles or triples of all the exclusive like Anaheim merchandise and waiting for their friends who had like um a later time to also come in and help them purchase it. So there was all kind of fuckery going on, and all in the light of like trying to resell the merchandise, which is like going on eBay for like triple the price.
Dude,
I
it's
think the
insane. Yeah.
yeah the Letterman jacket was like what $80. Now it's like $400 on eBay right now.
Oh my God, serious? It went
Yeah.
up? Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it's really stupid. The playmats that we got the Arcanine Squawkabilly Pikachu playmats.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Those were 25. I think they're around like $55, $60 right now.
I think I saw the Pikachu plushie with the Letterman's was, you said it was like what, 40? Or like
The thing, I think the plushie itself was like 24.99, $25 if I remember correctly, but it
last I
like
checked it was
doubled in
like
price.
65 like on
Yeah,
eBay. Yeah, it's insane, honestly.
yeah, yeah. It
And
was
then
stupid.
there was a point in the weekend where someone had told Adrian, and I think I'll let you like take the story over about how there was like this midnight black market happening with all like the resellers.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
so
don't know.
like pretty much there was a like an open air drug market, but instead of drugs, it was like all merchandise from the Pokemon Center, which I found pretty funny, but also I kind of regret not going to check it out. So I ended up like just walking around by myself on I think it was Saturday after you had left, and I was waiting for another side event, standard tournament to come up, and I was just sitting down shuffling my deck. This I forgot his name. I think it was like Chu or something like that. But this player from Hong Kong, who was a world's competitor as well, just decided to sit with me and asked to play a couple games. And he was showing me like videos of the convention center after dark. So it was like maybe 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock in the morning, and everybody was just set up with like tarps on the floor or like their own plastic tables and just reselling all of the merchandise from the Pokemon Center, and allegedly it was for the same like prices on eBay, like double or triple the price. They were selling the
It's,
jukeboxes, the boogie boards, all that kind of bullshit.
it's still so crazy to me to think that it there has got to be a point somehow for this to all turn around and for the scalper market to um, just be diminished. But as long as Pokemon is able to like the Pokemon company is able to make so much money off of it from all this demand, like I don't think they're going to try to like subside or like diminish all this demand by any means. Um, and super side note, this is kind of like going back to like something that you said earlier, so it's a little bit of a tangent. But I didn't realize that RK9 stands for Arcanine,
Yep.
like the Pokemon. Like I was just like, that's so smart. And
Yep.
I feel really because like the whole time I was just pronouncing it like, oh, RK9. I wonder why it's said like that, or like why they decided that website for setting up the tournaments and everything. But yeah.
You know what's funny though? That website, I think it's not owned by Pokemon or the Pokemon Company. It's like a third party website that helps organize tournaments because RK9 is also used by like Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments.
Hmm. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So it's just maybe like a weird coincidence, or they decided to
No,
expand into
not
Yu-Gi-Oh,
coincidence. I
or
think it's because it's RK9, like Arcanine, and then the web page is like orange and like that off white too. So it is definitely a Pokemon reference, but I think it's just like a normal like tournament organizer dashboard. Makes it easier for like deck lists and all that other stuff.
got it. Well, speaking of deck lists, you and I both entered into the Switch side tournament on Saturday. Um, and you had a couple of other side tournaments that you competed in as well. So what what would you say was like your favorite deck to run out of the whole weekend? Because I know you brought a couple with you.
Mhm.
to play test and use. I know you brought Guardy, I know you brought Typhlosion, and I think you had like your Joltik box deck on you just in case. Um, I get like we can move into like this whole segment of like, what did we use, what did we play, what did we play against, kind of just like going into that bit as far as what our experience was like playing with other people.
Yeah, definitely. So I'll start with Friday. So that was like my first side event that I decided to join, and it was a TCG standard, which
Mm-hmm.
was 4 rounds of not necessarily Swiss. I don't think they were really counting match points. I think as long as you finished with like a certain amount of points, you get tickets for the prize wall. But anyway, I played on the Thursday one at like 5 o'clock, and I brought 4 decks with me, and you named most of them. I brought Typhlosion, I brought Joltik Box, I brought Grim Snarl, and I brought Gardevoir. I only ended up playing Typhlosion the entire weekend, and it was because of our friend Kevin. Shout out to Kevin. He let me borrow a couple cards and like some Ethan Adventures, specifically the full art ones. And I was just like, I want to run this deck. It's simple, it's fast, it hits hard. It gets a
Yeah.
lot of shit online, but I liked it, and I did pretty decent through the entire weekend. So I played the Friday standard event. I ran into Goldango, and surprisingly, it was somebody that I played before here back in San Francisco. So that was pretty cool. And this is where like I met one of our like buddies, our convention buddies for the entire weekend. His name was Melvin, who was also playing in the same side event. Granted, we didn't like really play each other, but we were chopping it up for the most part. So shout out to Melvin from Red Cards LLC from Virginia. So go ahead and check out his Instagram. He's a really really dope vendor, really cool guy. So shout out to him. I think he was playing Maridon, and we were just kind of chopping it up about stuff. And I didn't
Yeah.
finish that tournament. I ended up not like I played like maybe 2 or 3 more rounds, but I cut before the fourth round or whatever. Um, and then one of my worst experiences during that, like I
Oh,
think in
this
all
part.
like TCG, my TCG career, like I have nothing against little kids. I love kids. Kids are awesome. But if you had to like have like the textbook stereotype of like a nasty snot nosed kid, I had to play one, and this kid had like Cheeto dust all over his fucking fingers, red Cheeto dust
Oh
too,
gosh.
and like his breath smelled like hot ass and like hot Cheetos, and he was drinking like an orange soda, climbing all over the tables. I was like, dude, I do not want to play anymore. And I ended up cutting after that after that round. I let him win. Yeah, he was like ahead in the prize race, but I'm like, I did not want to play. He was using like psychological warfare on me and biological warfare, coughing and shit. But that was probably like the worst thing that I've ever experienced during that
Oh
portion of the
man.
tournament. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, we just came out of a pandemic. I say that, and it's been 5 years, but like we just came out of a pandemic. Um, I felt like I had hand sanitizer in my satchel just in case. But man,
Yeah.
that's just rough to just go against. Do you remember what
And
he was playing? Like, what deck was he running?
he was playing Zard Pult or Pult Zard, and he had the audacity to shake my hand after I let him win because like I did not want to play anymore, and I was like, okay, yeah, buddy, here, like fist bump. That was a good game. He was like, no, we don't fist bump. We have to shake hands first. I'm like, no, I'm okay with a fist bump, and he was like, no. He held out his hand, and his fingers were all like red and dusty. I was like, dude. So right when he shook my hand, I like I went into my bag while he wasn't looking, and then just like fucking hand sanitized the shit out of my hand. I was like, dude, I don't want to get sick before the weekend is over. It was terrible.
I mean, like, he had to have been doing all that on purpose, right? Like, I get that kids are kids, you know, and sometimes it can't be helped. But at the same time, it's just like, dude, come on, like, you're in public at a convention center, not like at your uncle's house or
I was like, where
something.
was this kid's dad? And I ended up seeing this kid's dad like this on Sunday. Or no,
Are
on
you,
Saturday. I ended up seeing the kid's dad on Saturday, and I was like, yeah, he looked like he would be your kid.
okay.
Yeah.
Apple doesn't fall far from the tree, kind of thing.
Oh yeah. Oh no, definitely. He looked like that dude from that episode of South Park with World of Warcraft that kept killing everybody.
Oh, that guy. Okay.
Yeah, like again, I'm not. It was just like, yeah, you look like that would be your son. Yeah, for
All
sure.
right. All right. Well, as for me, like going into basically, I had a great time at Worlds. I also didn't have such a great time at Worlds at the same
Tell them
time.
why. Tell them why. What happened? What have we learned?
Meta is meta for a reason. I got my ass handed to me multiple times. Okay, so Adrian ran the Typhlosion deck. It's quick, it's fast, it's really popular. I get some hate, but for the most part, it is really popular, especially for a weekend that had so much Goldango being ran. Like a lot of people were saying, it was like the Goldango tournament where they thought it would have been at least a little bit more evenly spread with like Charizard and like Poltnor is what they're calling it. But yeah, I decided to run a Team Crobat spread damage deck, and I thought, you know, off meta. Some people may know it, some people won't. Maybe I can at least have the element of surprise. I played 5 rounds. 5 rounds where it was best of one, 30-minute rounds. And the first 4 matches, I didn't take a single prize card. I like just got wiped out completely. First round was like Raging Bolt, where the dude who was also, I forget his name. I apologize for not remembering your name, but he also was from Unbound Games from Colorado. And he was using Raging Bolt, but he used Baby Bolt, where it had the ability to just donk my bench, like, and each energy attached was like 30 damage. So all he needed was 2 energy because Team Rocket's Crobat is or Zubat is only like 50 health. So I could never get set up. Second round, I actually played a really nice gentleman where he was like a judge for Pokemon tournaments, like for like 10 years. He pulls out like this mat and sleeves from Yokohama, and he's just like super like calm the way he plays. And he's even like, for the match next to us, he's even doing like little mini judging calls, like, oh, you should probably call a judge for that. Like, I think this is how this works. Like, he was being so nice, and so like patient. And you could tell that he's just been around the space so much that he just didn't like have any worries. I was clearly showing like first tournament like jitters, like not knowing what to look, having so many misplays, that kind of thing. He was playing Crustle Monkey Dory.
Oh wow!
So I,
So we brought Crustle to a side event.
yeah, I didn't have enough damage to knock out a Monkey Dory in one shot, and I couldn't take out the Crustle, and the Monkey Dory just always kept on moving his damage from his side over to my side. So it was just not a fun time. He was like the nicest person with the most cruel deck you could play against. uh, and then like my round 3, I actually faced Adrian's round 2, which was the Eevee box deck, or like the Eevee box guy. And that one, I felt like I was starting to get rolling, but he built up his faster, like his board faster, so I couldn't catch up. And so after that third loss, like when I was just sitting with the other guys who were like 0-3, there was just kind of like this feeling in the air where we're just like, what's the point? What does it matter? Like, what? All of us were just kind of like upset, just going like, oh, this sucks. Still trying to have like be in for the fun of it. The guy that I placed for my fourth match, he was running Dragapult Dusknoir also, and I was like, I'm surprised you're 0-3 because this is a really popular deck and it's really good. And he's like, I've just had really bad draws. 1st 3 rounds, like just really bad draws. And sometimes that's all there is to it. Like, it's a card game, and you would think it's fair, but even with strong decks, you can't win sometimes when it comes to like the luck of the draw.
Yeah, RNG is still a real thing.
Yeah, RNG is a very real thing.
Yeah. Speaking of that, it's funny that you mentioned that. So the next day, like I think it was Sunday, I signed up for a 4-man pod, or 4-person pod for on-demand events. I ended up playing against a world's competitor from Japan. I think her name was like Mitsuki Yamada. I think that's what I remember. That's what her name was. It was something like that. She was playing Goldango. And against her Goldango deck, I ended up mulliganing for like 4 turns. So 4 mulligans before we actually started playing. So yeah, like literally bad draws and bad hands exist. I think exist very heavily in Pokemon.
I think that's what happened with my fourth match too, because I had to do like 3 mulligans, so he just got like so many cards to start the match.
Yeah.
Um, and then so for my fifth one, I finally won, but I also had to like leave the event early because my mom was helping take care of my baby, and she could only watch her for so long. So I was just there to have fun with Adrian and just try to see how long I could stick it out in the tournament. That Switch tournament in total was like 7 rounds. Started at 9:30, and by the time it was 1:30, the fifth round had just ended. So we still had two more to go through. Um, but there was also no way that I was going to stand in line to like wait for the prize wall for like the tickets. And so I looked at the guy and I was just like, "Do you want to just take this win? I don't need it, and I'm not going to be around for the convention any longer." And he was just like, "Really? Are you sure?" And I was just like, "Yeah, I don't. You just take the win. Like I am happy." So on paper, I'm 0-5, but but I did.
X5 by round 5. God damn.
I did win at least once, and that's all I want. Well, after like my third match, my bar was set really low. I really just wanted to take just one prize card, but I at least got a win. But I gave it to him. He said he actually just needed one more win to be able to get the playmat because he's been
Yeah, because I think
excited
at
about
least one win grants you like 50 tickets. So it wasn't one of those tournaments where you didn't leave like or you would leave empty handed if you didn't like finish it out or drop early. So you do still earn stuff.
Yeah, so like I gave it to him. He said he was going to play the next 2 rounds, but he said like, he was really trying to go for the mat, and I was just like, you know what, just take the win. So I just circled his name and like let him off, and then I just head out from there. But yeah, I
You got a moral win.
I will not
You got a
have.
moral win. You got a win in the eyes of Jesus and God.
I know I was the nice guy, at least I could say, but I honestly came. Everyone I played against what was super nice. They
Hmm.
like everyone was just very wholesome, um, and very much into the spirit of Pokemon and just being there for the competition and just being a fan. So yeah, I had a great time. There was
That's what
actually,
you usually get in the lower tables.
yeah.
Just kidding. Dude,
but
I had the thing I was telling you like early or like before this, like during the weekend, like I had a really salty player because he was running Goldingo. Like his demeanor
Yeah,
hella changed when we flipped our basics. Like he was super talkative when we first started, and then once I flipped that cynical and he flipped his gimme goal, he became really quiet. And I definitely ruined his day. I felt so bad.
oh
It was in
my
the same
gosh,
tournament too.
that's right, that's right. Oh man. um But what was the tournaments like day three for you? Because I know you said you played against like one Japan player, and then like didn't the stuff end earlier? Day three too? Like wasn't everything kind of like wrapped up sooner by the closing ceremony by like what 3-4 o'clock?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So basically, what happened was day 3. Um, most of the people were occupied with the arena because that's where they were doing Pokemon Unite. They were doing Championship Sunday in the arena that's literally right next door to the convention halls. But it was a good chance for everybody else to continue to like farm side events. So there was a good amount of people playing in the side events on Sunday. Everything wrapped up around like maybe 4 or 5 o'clock. I didn't stay that long. My last TCG standard ended at 3. Um, so I just ended up playing that through, and then for some reason that day, Sunday, was when I ran into all the world's competitors. I didn't know a lot of their names. A lot of them were international, so I played a lot of people from like Hong Kong. I played people from Japan. I played a juniors kid that was from Ukraine. And it's crazy because you could tell who's a world's competitor because they have the welcome package. They have the competitor mat, the competitor um lanyard, and they have the competitor badge. And like I mentioned earlier, those like those boys are built different. Like they're at like Worlds and they qualified for Worlds for a reason. Like the way that they kind of like think and make their choices and run their decks is really really crazy.
I can't imagine what it would be like to go against a world's competitor because I mean, like, I know that there are levels to this game, and especially with like the decision making and the builds and the thought process. But to like kind of just be in that place where you're going toe to toe with somebody who did qualify is, I kind of want to aim to get there next year. Who knows? Let's see what Margot will let me be able to do schedule
You got to win
wise.
a regional, bro. That's the only way. That's like I hate
That's the
that
only
like
way.
Pokemon made it extremely hard to qualify. Like 2 years ago, it was all about like ranking, and you can get away with like doing well in like regionals by getting like top 64 and stuff like that, and just farming points. But like they made it way difficult to do it. I don't think we can't do it, but the chances are like we got to put in the work for sure if we want to get there.
Mm. So what? The only North American regionals I think before next Worlds are Pittsburgh, uh, Las Vegas.
Milwaukee's coming up. I think that's the next one for North America.
Yeah.
You want to win a regional, Damien? Do you believe it in your little heart you can win a regional? I believe in you.
I don't know if I can. But we'll see. I'll at least start going to like more local tournaments to at least get a little bit of a thicker skin, get some more
Smaller
experience underneath my
goals.
belt.
Yeah. You can still farm those for points. Like I think for me personally, that's where I kind of jumped the gun. I started going to like regionals and I started going to like league cups, and I kept getting my ass cheeks handed to me because I would always go like X2 drop by like the fourth or fifth round. And that's never a good like good standing in like long tournaments. So like really breaking it down into like smaller ones. I think what I learned from the side events for Worlds this year is I'm better than I think that I am, compared to like a lot of like these other players, and like to know that like these are players from like all over the world still running side events, and you're better than those people from like other places. It really gives you like a little bit of a confidence boost.
Mm, man, I'm looking forward to like Worlds next year in San Francisco. It's going to be awesome,
Hmm.
and I'll make it for a fun trip because since you came down this year, I get to go up there next year.
Hmm. Yeah, it'll be a whole family affair, and a good amount of like our friends up here are interested in going too. So we have like our like old Bay Area crew is down to go because we're all Pokemon fans. Me and my roommates are planning on purchasing all the stuff from Pokemon Center and setting up an eBay shop and selling it for 10 times the price, because that's how Pokemon should be played.
uh, it's so funny that you say that. Not the reseller shit, but I had so many friends I hadn't talked to in like a while. Just all of a sudden hit me up and just be like, "Hey, I saw that you were at Worlds. Was there any like exclusive merch or, what was the experience like?" And um, it's just one of those things where like if it's since it's so closer in your hometown, all of a sudden everyone's like, "Oh well, I'm down to go check it out." And like everyone, Pokemon has touched everyone's lives like at least once in one way or another, So I think it's pretty cool how it has the ability to bring everyone together for something that we all used to enjoy or still enjoy, most definitely. Speaking of Worlds next year, well, I guess before we even touch that, did you watch the closing ceremony at all, or like see uh, aside from like the Pokemon XP announcing and like what other stuff came of it?
Yes, I actually ended up watching the championship Sunday like in my hotel room. So like before my 12 p.m. tournament TCG standard, I went back to my hotel to grab food. And then I like went to sleep for a little bit, and then I fell asleep watching I think Unite and I think juniors and seniors TCG. So that was pretty cool. And then I caught the TCG finals between Riley McKay and Justin Newdorf. So it was Dragapult versus Gardevoir. I think Justin Newdorf really sold the match, and everybody in the comments and in the chat on YouTube was really getting at him. Like he kind of misplayed by not trying to knock out the Gardevoir by putting damage on it with Dusknoir. So Riley McKay ended up 2-0ing him. So Guardy 2-0'd Dragapult, which is, that matchup was like standard, and Guardy was going to win regardless, in my opinion. But yeah, I
Yeah.
ended up watching it just from YouTube. It was cool to see the different scenes from the different sides from the arena, and like the LED floorboard or the LCD floorboard that they had. It made it look really immersive, and I
Right.
think Pokemon really like is starting to transition from the geeky like video game slash trading card game tournament to like actual esports. Like they're in that esports territory now.
Yeah, that's actually what I thought of when I saw the Unite stage. It looked very similar to like League of Legends, where just going through draft phase, and then basically when everyone watches like the plays and gets all hyped on like a really good like team combo, it's like really cool. So I think it's only going to grow from there. I think I remember I was listening to Card Lounge podcast, and they were saying it's only going to be a matter of time before we start having holograms behind the players on the Pokemon, and like what they're choosing in the Unite can just like oh, maybe they'll start doing like animations of like the Pokemon dying, or like respawning and timers and things like that. I was like, oh, that'd be hella sick.
They already have those like weird like animations or like the graphics that pop up when like a Pokemon gets put onto the bench for TCG. And like
Yeah.
they've always had that in like Japan when they stream their Japan nationals and stuff like that in the city leagues.
Hmm.
So that's pretty cool. Yeah, like they have the resources. Like Pokemon's like $1 billion fucking company, and this is just like a subtle flex compared to what they can actually do. Like compared to like
Hmm.
other fucking card games, like they can throw as much money as they want towards making it like a really big like event. Like they had their own custom album and like tracks. They held like a mini concert for the opening ceremony. Like that shit was crazy.
Hmm. Hmm. They what's that? They revealed that I think moving forward, it's like Pokemon Champions, or is going to be like the new battle format for tournaments, basically, where it's not no like they're moving away from Scarlet Violet now, and it's going to be like a exclusive dedicated like game feature for champion or for like tournament mode, which I thought was really interesting. And I think at the closing ceremony, they also revealed that there's going to be something now called the Omni Ring, where uh, it was originally thought that Legends EA was only going to have tournament styles in Mega Evolutions, but with the Omni Ring, it's like it looks like you can actually choose whichever gimmick that you want to use for like tournaments moving forward. So that would be interesting to see like how that plays out, or how they want to implement that. But I thought that was pretty cool to reveal for the VGC format. Definitely something like to mix it up and spice it up, and kind of like just like push the envelope a little bit more moving forward. Plus, I think everyone has just been looking forward to Mega Evolutions in general as a
Mm-hmm.
comeback, because I think that uh, I personally love like Mega Scizor as one of my favorite Mega Evolutions. So
Mm.
just to see more come out uh, and be revealed with Lindsay. Is it coming out like November this year? October, November?
October. Yeah, and they had a demo at Worlds too to be able
That's
to try it.
right.
The line was hella fucking long though. I wanted to try it,
Yeah.
but I was like, nah, I'm good. There's so many people trying it.
Yeah, I was just like, I'm good. I'm not going to spend my whole convention, the limited time that I had, like waiting in that line.
Yeah. But I think for ZA, that's gonna be a mainline story game, but they're not gonna be, I don't know, maybe I didn't see the whole like closing show announcement or like the closing show reveals. I only saw like the parts that were important to me. But I know that ZA is supposed to be just storyline, and it's not going to be part of tournament play, I believe. I think that's why they're transitioning to Pokemon Champions, which is going to be the app and like the Switch game where you can change your Pokemon's like nature. You can get the exact nature you want, the exact stats, the exact builds, and that's what they're going to be moving on to for like VGC. I could be wrong, but that's something that I heard over the weekend too.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah. And make it a lot easier than people just either farming it the hard way or hacking it some other way.
And it's the new mechanics of ZA too, because they revealed the 4-man battles, and then you also have to like dodge
Oh yeah,
and
that's
it's
right.
like
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts style like fighting where it's like very
Hmm.
dynamic. It's not the static battles anymore. So like I don't think like Pokemon would like use that in like tournament feature, you know, or like as like the new VGC, because that's like a completely like rehashed way to play the game. And I think people that play VGC are used to like the double battles because that's how it's always been,
Yeah.
from my knowledge, you know.
What I thought of as far as the four-man battles is I thought like that's pretty clever of them to do because that'd be a super easy segue into Unite.
Hmm.
Because then you just already get used to the mechanic or the style of like battling like that with your Pokemon in a four-way battle, and then Unite is just an extension of like, oh, you have four teammates, and then you're going against like other like obviously there's going to be like or there's some more added differences, but I think it's like a good segue to kind of get people to be like, oh, if I'm already used to this, Unite's like
Hmm.
not all that different as far as like how to pilot my Pokemon or how to play. Um,
Also, hot take: the Pokemon Company can learn something from professional wrestling. They put their most exciting and anticipated match in the beginning. Next time, make Unite your closing fucking match because VGC's whatever. Like in my honest opinion, I think like TCG was good in the middle where it's at, because it kind of calmed the crowd down. But they definitely should have put Unite as the main event.
mm, that makes sense. Yeah. So looking ahead at Worlds 2026, I mean, it's going to be pretty different because it sounds like from between the actual like tournament and the championship, they're now including Pokemon XP, which links uh, basically makes it seem like the convention part of it is like separated, especially with Championship Sunday being in Chase Center versus most of the convention being at the Moscone. Do you think that based off of like the trailer for Pokemon XP, it's also looking um, it's going to be like a citywide kind of um, like little events or things that kind of like trigger your experience from what it looks like? Because I don't know why they would try to like incorporate all of San Francisco like that, unless that's just for the trailer, just trying to showcase like, hey, it's in San Francisco. But what would you think about that as far as like the XP?
I mean, San Francisco has a lot of money. um, and San Francisco has been like, not trying to make it political, but they've been cleaning themselves up with the new mayor. I love the Bay. I love San Francisco. That's why I could critique it. But Bay Area has a lot of money. And I feel like do they're gonna do an event similar to what they did at Yokohama Worlds, where like they not only just took over the convention center there, but like the parks and the surrounding areas that were like a few blocks away from the convention center in Yokohama. They decked that out in Pokemon. There was like Pokemon themed like cars, like Tokyo Drift style cars that were like scattered around like the city. The train station going to Yokohama was decked out in like all Pokemon decorations. So I'm assuming it's going to be something similar to that. I'm sure they're going to be like raids for Pokemon Go in like specific areas. Like, why wouldn't they like take advantage of having like, let's say, like a Groudon or like an Eternatus like kind of like take over Oracle Park. You know what I mean? Like I'm
Mm,
pretty sure they're gonna take advantage of a lot of the different like spaces over there in over here in San Francisco. Like I could see them
mhm.
definitely doing like a Pokemon card night for a Warriors game or like a Pokemon card night for a Giants game like leading up to Worlds. And they're just going to take advantage of the city. They're going to be doing it at Moscone Center. Pokemon XP, along with the actual World Championship, is still going to occur in Moscone Center itself, with Championship Sunday occurring at Chase Center. So I think it's a big city. It's a well known city, and whatever like contract or agreements they decided with the city, I know for sure San Francisco could fucking pay for it.
Yeah, that's very true. Okay, well, I say that we covered a hell of a lot of topic just back in our one session since. Is there anything you want to say to kind of wrap up our episode here?
Yeah, I think just overall, I think first and foremost, it was great for our podcast and us together to like really be able to spend that time around Pokemon. Like, granted, it was a very like short amount of time, but I think it was very impactful. And it was really cool to like share that with you. And we got to make a lot of like new friends along the way. So like again, I want to shout out like all the folks that we did meet. Again, Melvin from Red Cards LLC from Virginia. We have David and his crew from Unbound Games from Colorado. And my personal favorite, I got to meet the Philippine team. There's this group of there's this group of like Filipino players that were all world's competitors, surprisingly, and they're all wearing like Filipino flag jackets. So they're from Hobby Stadium in Manila. So shout out to, I believe his name is Wayne. I got to sit down and really talk to him and his partner about like their team and their store and what they do. So shout out to Hobby Stadium. Was able to link up with them and possibly get to chatting about next year in San Francisco, since they're also going to be headed there. And also want to shout out Avery and Aya, Avery balls underscore on Twitch, and Aya Papaya with 3 A's at the end on Twitch. That's my homie and his girlfriend. So I really got to kick it with him, and he's the one that hooked it up with the Arcanine mats. The extra one that I got, and then the one that I gifted you was from the Pokémon Center. So he was able to hook us up with that. And he's a friend of the podcast, so hopefully he'll be on here pretty soon. But I just wanted to again like shout out to all those like really cool people that we met over the weekend.
Yeah, honestly, I think the main thing is that we need to just remember that this is all about just for the love of Pokemon, good, bad, whatever it is. We can tune out all the scalpers, the haters, the resellers, like as much as we can. Can't completely avoid it, but at the end of the day, I think all of us making the collective effort to try to just be there for Pokemon and just be there for ourselves and just still try to have a good time is like super important. So I had an amazing time with Adrian and just being able to geek out over the weekend, and really looking forward to trying to enter in my first actual like tournament, not just like a side event, but we'll see how that all plays out. But if you guys are still watching, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you guys still supporting us from wherever you are. Please feel free to follow us on YouTube, follow us on IG, PokeLADs podcast. And again, if you had any questions, comments, concerns, feedback for us, please feel free to let us know. We're just starting out. We're still trying to figure everything out. So, appreciate you guys even just giving us your ear for the time of day. So aside from that, take care and peace.
Wait a minute. Wait. Before we leave, I did want to mention one thing.
Oh.
Yeah, like, did you know that Miltank has
oh my god
nipples?
Get out of here.
Hashtag right, utters out for Miltank. Peace.